Dear students, in the last class we discussed interference of light, the conditions required to produce sustained interference pattern, the methods of deriving coherent sources, and also the application of the device biprism. These things we discussed in the last class. Today let us discuss the topic interference at thin film due to reflected light. What a thin film is? A thin film is nothing but a transparent material having thickness of the order of wavelength of the visible light. A film which is very thin, whose thickness of the order of 0.5 micrometer is called the thin film, is considered as the thin film. Here thickness is comparable with the wavelength of the incident light. Example, red light 700 nanometer wavelength, so that thickness should be of the order of 0.7 micrometer, so it varies around 0.5 micrometer. Such a transparent medium is called the thin film. Example is a thin film of oil formed on water surface, and also soap bubble, it can also be considered as a thin film. Now interference at thin film. Here we consider the monochromatic source. Here we have the medium of refractive index n. So this is the thin film, a thin film of thickness T. Let n be the refractive index of the material of the thin film. What is refractive index? You might have studied in your PUC in the phenomena refraction about Snell's law. Snell's law states that the ratio of sine of angle of incidence to sine of angle of refraction is always a constant for the given pair of media. Given pair of media means light travels from one medium to another medium, so that for that pair of medium, refractive index denoted by the symbol n, and if the medium are 1 and 2, then if light travels from medium 1 to medium 2, in that case refractive index of the second medium with respect to the first one defined as the ratio of sine of angle of incidence to sine of angle of refraction. Angle of incidence or angle of refraction. What is refraction? The change in the path of light. Light deviates when it travels from one medium to other medium. And sine, this angle of incidence, angle between the incident ray and the normal at the point. Angle of refraction is angle between the refracted ray and the normal drawn at the point. This is Snell's law. Suppose light travels from air to the given medium. Let the given medium say glass. So in that case, we write the refractive index of glass with respect to air as sin I by sin R. This is Snell's law, and we apply Snell's law in this case. So we have the thin film of refractive index n, monochromatic light traveling from rarer medium to the denser medium. Rarer medium is air, denser medium the thin film. Thickness is T. Consider a ray OA, the incident ray, and at this point of incidence a normal is drawn, so I the angle of incidence. The ray refracts along AB. AB the refracted ray, and at this point there will be partial reflection also. At this point A, the incident ray gets partially reflected and partially refracted. AT the reflected ray, AB refracted ray. Now again at this point AB the incident ray, again here the partial reflection and partial refraction. BD refracted ray, BC reflected ray. Again this ray BC falls on the upper surface at this point. So here again there is partial reflection and partial refraction. This is how the incident ray in the thin film undergoes multiple reflections and refractions. And if we consider the two reflected rays AT and CQ, AT and CQ are the two reflected rays which are reflected from the upper surface of the thin film, and these two reflected rays, they travel parallel to each other, and these two behave like the coherent sources and they produce the interference pattern in the film. An interference pattern is observed in the film due to the superposition of these two reflected rays which behave like the coherent rays. This is what happens in interference at thin film. So reflected light, so here we consider the reflected light. Interference occurs in case of transmitted light also. If you consider these two transmitted rays, the rays which are transmitted from the film to air, they also interfere to produce interference. But here we discuss interference and reflected light. Now, let us consider the total optical path, geometrical path travelled by these two reflected rays. See, the ray AT, at this point, the ray AT is the reflected one, AB refracted. The refracted ray, this ray at this point travels the path AB in the medium, B is again inside the medium, then it travels to air as CQ. So that the total geometrical path travelled, total geometrical path, GPD, geometrical path difference, it is geometrical path difference. Here AB plus BC, path travelled inside the medium, and AN, see, AN is the path travelled in the air, so that the geometrical path difference is AB plus BC minus AN. See, here onwards they travel the same path. So the path difference in the path travel, distance travelled by those two rays is taken as AB plus BC in the medium minus AN in A. That is geometrical path difference. Now optical path difference. Optical path difference, nothing but the difference between the optical paths travelled in the medium and in air. So that here optical path is nothing but geometrical path multiplied by refractive index. So AB plus BC, geometrical path in the medium, so that it is multiplied by refractive index of the medium. AN, path travelled in air multiplied by refractive index of A. And here one more term, lambda by 2. Lambda by 2, extra path difference introduced between these two reflected rays. It is due to reflection which is taking place from which is backed by the denser medium. Since reflection is taking place from the denser medium, an extra phase difference pi or a path difference lambda by 2 introduced between the two rays, so that the net optical path difference is given by this. But refractive index of air is 1. NA is always equal to 1. Then the optical path difference, it becomes AB plus BC into N minus AN plus lambda by 2. Now, here we have to find out the expressions for AB, BC and AN, what actually they are. For that, consider the triangle ANC. See, here in the diagram, a perpendicular is drawn from C on AT, it is CN. From C, draw the perpendicular on AT, it is CN. Similarly, draw a perpendicular AM on this ray, CP or BC. And consider the right angle triangle CNA or ANC. Right angle triangle ANC. In that, define sin I. We define sin I, the trigonometric ratio, sin as the ratio between opposite side and the hypotenuse. So here sin I is opposite AN divided by the hypotenuse AC. So sin I is AN by AC. That is the equation V1. From the triangle AMC, again consider the right angle triangle AMC. AMC. Here, this is the angle of refraction. So here, before that, let me tell, I, the angle of incidence, angle between the incident ray and the normal. The ray refracts like this along AB. So this is the normal, so this is the angle of refraction. From the geometry, you can find out that this angle also exactly becomes equal to R, and this angle is I. This angle is I. See here, in the construction also, the reflected ray BC is produced in the backward direction to give BP to meet this normal, so that BP is equal to BC. BP is equal to BC, and also AE is equal to EP. So that the triangle ABP is an isosceles triangle. These two sides are equal. Similarly, these two sides are equal. From the geometry, we find that this angle is R, this one is I. Now, let us define sin R in the triangle AMC. So, AMC, a right angle triangle, define sin R opposite CM divided by the hypotenuse is AC. See, that is your sin R, equation 2. Now, Snell's law is refractive index defined as sin I by sin R. So, if you divide equation 1 by equation 2, 1 divided by 2 gives what? AN by AC by CM by AC. AC gets cancelled, remaining AN by CM. N is AN by CM. From this, we write AN as N into CM. So, AN, NCM. So, now we got the expression for AN as NCM. Therefore, the path difference. We denote the optical path difference by the symbol delta given by AB plus BC into N as it is minus AN substituted as NCM plus extra path lambda by 2. Simplify. Here, all these terms are having N as the coefficient. Keep N outside. AB plus BC minus CM inside the bracket minus lambda by 2. Or N into, what is AB plus BC? Set out AB equal to BC. So, AB plus BC can be taken as CP. BC equal to BP, AB equal to AC, so that AB plus BC is nothing but BC plus A. It is taken as CP. So, AB plus BC is CP minus CM minus lambda by 2. Or CP minus CM. From the diagram, CP minus CM. See, CP minus CM. See here, CP minus CM gives MP or PM. CP minus CM gives PM, so that this becomes PM. Delta is N PM minus lambda by 2. This is the net optical path difference introduced between these two reflected rays. Now, from the diagram, let us find out what is PM. So, this one is, see here, AM the perpendicular drawn. So, again, AMP is a right angle triangle. And here, this angle is also R. So, that in this right angle triangle, define cos R. In the triangle AMP, define cos R. Cos R, by definition, adjacent side, PM divided by the hypotenuse. It is AP. Here angle is right angle 90. So, AP is hypotenuse. Cos R is PM divided by AP. So that you get PM as AP cos R. What is AP? See here, AP is nothing but AE plus EP. AE is equal to T. So, EP is also equal to T. So, AP becomes 2T. So, that PM is 2T cos R. AE plus EP, T plus T, 2T. PM is 2T cos R. Hence, delta is 2NT cos R minus lambda by 2. This is the expression for the total optical path difference, or the path difference introduced between the two reflected rays, AT and CQ. Delta is 2NT cos R minus lambda by 2. N is refractive index of the material of the film. T is thickness of the film. R is angle of refraction. Lambda, wavelength of the incident light, monochromatic light. Now, what are the conditions for interference? We know that in interference, alternate maximum intensity and minimum intensity are produced. It is modification in the intensity. So, intensity becomes maximum and minimum alternately. Maximum intensity means it is called constructive interference. Minimum intensity is destructive interference. Now, let us find out the conditions to produce constructive and destructive interference respectively. Let me consider constructive interference first. Condition for maxima. Maxima means maxima, the fringe having maximum intensity, maxima, constructive interference. In general, in interference, when constructive interference occurs, we have seen in the previous class, when the path difference between the two interfering waves equal to an integral multiple of lambda, then constructive interference occurs. That is, delta should be equal to m lambda, where m is an integer. Here I have taken the integer as m because we have taken n already as the refractive index of medium. So the integer is taken as m. There we took it as n, but here it is m. M takes the value 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. It's an integer. This is the general condition for constructive interference to occur. It is applied in this case. In this case we have the power difference is this, so that 2nt cos r minus lambda by 2 equal to m lambda. Condition for maxima, condition to produce maxima. Or if you simplify this, 2nt cos r, take lambda by the other side, and if you simplify, the right hand side becomes 2m plus 1 lambda by 2, where m is, it's an integer, 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. Thus, maximum intensity, when the two reflected light, they interfere, maximum intensity is produced only when this condition is satisfied. 2nt cos r equal to 2m plus 1 lambda by 2. For a given thickness, for a given film, the intensity becomes maximum depending on the value of r. This is the condition for maxima in interference at the thin film. Now minima, destructive interference. The general condition for destructive interference is path difference between the two waves should be an odd multiple of lambda by 2, odd integral multiple of lambda by 2. That is, delta is equal to 2m plus 1 lambda by 2. M takes the values again 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on, an integer. Apply this to this case. So that 2nt cos r minus lambda by 2 is 2m plus 1 lambda by 2. Take this term to the right hand side and simplify. You get 2nt cos r as m plus 1 lambda by 2. M is an integer, so m plus 1 is also an integer. Let us take it as m dash. So that condition is 2nt cos r is m dash lambda by 2. M dash taking value 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. And this is the condition to produce minima in interference or destructive interference. Thus, when the reflected light in a thin film satisfies this condition, the field of view or the film appears bright. The film appears bright when this condition is satisfied, and the film appears dark when this condition is satisfied. And it depends on the maxima and minima, they depend on r as well as the thickness. Thickness is also an important factor for the brightness or darkness of the given film. This is how interference bands are produced in thin film due to reflected light. Suppose the film is illuminated by white light. Now we discussed here for monochromatic light. Suppose the film is illuminated by white light. You might have observed when a thin film of oil on water surface, when it is illuminated by sunlight, sunlight is a white light. What do you mean by white light? It is a composite light consisting of different wavelengths or different colors, combination of 7 colors with joy. All these things you might be knowing. And when thin film of oil on water illuminated by sunlight, it's a white light there. When this condition is satisfied, 2nt cos r is 2m plus 1 lambda by 2 for a given wavelength, maybe red or blue or the other colors. For a given wavelength, if this condition is satisfied, in that case, that film appears colored. And if this condition is satisfied, for a given wavelength, if this condition is satisfied, that particular color is not seen in the film. Film appears dark. That color will not be there. This is how the color of the film depends on the condition satisfied by that particular wavelength and also angle of refraction. Thus, you might have observed the thin film of oil on water surface illuminated by white light, it appears colored. That is due to interference due to the reflected light. Interference taking place in that thin film due to reflected light. Similarly, soap bubble, when it is illuminated by white light, it also sometimes it appears colored. Why it appears colored? Because this condition, when this condition is satisfied, this one is satisfied, that soap bubble also appears colored when all those wavelengths satisfy condition for constructive interference. Thus, thin films appear colored in white light. This is about interference at thin film due to reflected light. With this, I stop here. Let us continue the next class with another topic.